Hello and welcome to my arty update. It will be a brief one this week because I haven't really done an awful lot. I think I've been distracted by the good weather that we've been having here in the UK, and that's been rather nice. But what I'll do is I'll start with my sketchbook progress and yeah, we'll see how this goes. So I'll just finish off the sketchbook flip through of book 11. I have already published the full sketchbook tour of this, but I'll just talk through what I did at the end. I'd left you on this page, which wasn't particularly great, but you know, it's all good practice and that's what it's all about. So I decided to just fill in the page with some Zentangle patterns. I just drew out some sections and filled them in with all different patterns. I really like to do this from time to time because, you know, you discover new patterns that you can use in future drawings, and also, you know, I have my favourite patterns as well that I like to use. And so I was just trying them out in different ways. So if you're ever struggling and you don't really know what to draw, just doing a straight page with Zentangle is usually really quite therapeutic and helpful. Now on this page I did this little pattern here, and I really liked that, and I thought I'd see if I could put it together in a picture of its own. I think this is quite fun to do. It's a super easy design. Really doesn't require much effort at all. A little bit of thought does need to go into where you're going to put all the lines, but it's quite a fun exercise. So what I did was a couple of others in a similar style, and you'll see more of those over the summer. I'm creating a series of videos that basically I'm just going to talk through a little bit more my processes and my thought processes and what I'm using and why I'm using it, just to help everyone along if you want. Then I tried it with using my circle stencil to see how different it would look, and it does look a little bit more spacey, but I still kind of quite like it actually. This one was a complete doodle page. I just drew some circles and some lines and just coloured it in really. Nothing much to write home about, but I do like the contrast here. So yeah, I probably will look at that again, as I always say. Then I went back to just playing with some circles and lines, because who doesn't like working with circles and lines? I very much enjoy it. And for this one I was using my Decotime colouring pencils, and I realised that I really wasn't particularly happy with my shading techniques, so I did watch a video online, and in the video they used a cotton bud to help blend the colours in, and so I gave that a go on this picture, and you will see it on one of my full process videos coming up soon where I'm using this blending technique. I really enjoy that, and it did give a really good result. I'm really quite pleased with the shading on that one. So that was the end of book 11. Let's take those away. And before I start showing you book 12, I'll just talk you through a couple of other bits. This was a full process video that I put live shortly after my last update, and this one went live a couple of weeks ago. This is one of the full process videos that I've done in blue with the shading technique. This one was one I did in my previous sketchbook that I recreated using a darker colour, and this one was a follow on from this one, but I just used my drawing ink on this one. I really like those. I think these are my favourite ones to do just for simplicity, really. And then I had some good old messy time creating some backgrounds. I haven't done anything with these yet, but I was splodging around on this one with some acrylic paint. And on this one I was using my drawing ink, my Indian ink and my violet. And I will do some sort of Zentangle over these two at some point, but I haven't just yet. And the brown gold one that I did, I just drew in some random Zentangle patterns. It's not a particularly attractive picture, but it was a really good exercise because I really love those Zentangle drawings where they've got splashy backgrounds and interesting things that help create the design. So that was that experiment. So book 12. I've only done about 10 pages in here. Just circles and lines again. I don't know what it is about circles and lines, they just work really well together and you can do so much with them. You might notice in my sketchbook that I don't ever rub out my pencil lines and things like that because I find them useful to see how I constructed the drawing when I come back to it. Obviously when I'm doing a proper picture, like one of my full process pictures, I will rub out all the lines. So continuing my mission to learn 1 or 2 new official Zentangle patterns every month, this one is Echo Pearl. And again, it was a really good exercise in shading. I tried to use the cotton bud technique again, less successfully on this one. I don't think I was concentrating quite as hard on what I was doing, but it was really just a practice in drawing the Echo Pearls. Now it's simply this curvy design which we see all over the place, and I've done several patterns with that in now, around a circle. I quite like it. This one I just drew a few across the page, filled in the background with some random bits and pieces. What did I use here? Just my gel pens and a bit of coloured pencil for the shading here. Then back to circles and lines. So I love this one and I thought, let's try it with some bigger circles. This is what happened. I just used my watercolour brush pens on this one. I do like it with the bigger circles in, but I couldn't quite decide whether I wanted to put pattern in or just have them as full colour. I think they work well with some pattern in as well. Yeah. And then playing around with that kind of style again. This one is really busy, a bit too busy for my liking, and I had an intention that I was only going to fill in the sections which weren't touching a circle, but I got distracted. Sometimes that happens, I just get a bit tired and I get distracted and I filled in the wrong piece, so that's what happened here. So this one is based on a drawing that I saw online that I really liked, and full disclosure, I'll put it up on the screen now. So you can see I've changed mine slightly. I like the idea of having the vines coming out from a corner with something down the bottom, and I wanted to see if I could integrate the circle patterns that I've been working on over the last 6 months with these vines and the shell pattern on. I decided to change it, obviously, because I think it's really good and useful to copy other people's work, not for profit, for practice. Mostly because it helps you develop your own ideas, and I'm going to show you how this has developed now. So this wasn't a direct copy, it was just using some of the concepts that I took from the picture and that I took from my previous work. I took it a little bit further and decided to try it with the circles just across the bottom of the page. I really quite like this one. I might consider uniforming the patterns, like picking the same pattern for each of the circles. I just really like that one. And then I thought, right, let's use these vines with these circles in my usual way. So I just drew some circles, filled those in and added vines. And again, I quite like this one. It's quite busy, but as a doodle, it was great fun to do. So then I thought, right, let's try it with some smaller bubbles. Yeah, you can see how looking at that original drawing has developed into me creating something of my own. I love this picture. I love this picture so much that as soon as I finish recording this, I'm going to whiz off and do this as a full process video to put up in the next couple of weeks. I was using my Decotime pencils with the shading. I didn't actually use the cotton bud with this. I just use the pencil shading as normal, and I think that looks, oh yeah, I just love this picture. This is one of my favourites today. And then I thought, okay, we've tried bigger circles, how about we do this with smaller circles? So I did another variation on it as well, keeping these flowers a lot smaller, adding some smaller circles, decorating the circles with some colour and some lines. I might do this one as a full process as well. I'm keen. Anyway, that is all that I've done in my neurographic doodle sketchbook, and I hope that's given you a little bit of inspiration. The only other thing that I've done is here in my regular sketchbook, when I was practicing using the Decotime pencils with the cotton bud, I had a go at drawing an apple, because I'm a big believer that when you get a new art supply or you're learning a new technique, it's a really good idea to draw something simple, and apples are simple, they're forgiving, and it can just be a really good exercise to get used to an art medium. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've done over the last month, and you know, as for me, well, I've been enjoying the sunshine a little bit. I've been able to get out on a few short walks, which has been lovely, really lovely. I've still been suffering from the cold a little bit. I've had my blood test done, but I haven't had the results through yet. And what else? Oh yeah, I was on a course of antibiotics for about a week because I was a bit unwell as well. So all of that has kind of taken away from all that winter art time that I've enjoyed over the last few months. But I'm so glad that the weather's a little bit better, because it's so much nicer when a bit of sunshine is coming through the window. Unlike today, which is why it's a little bit dull in here, but yeah, we've had a bit of rain, but it's needed, much needed. Anyway, that's just a short and sweet one this month. I do hope that you've been enjoying some of the full process videos that I've been publishing, and I also hope that it's given you a little bit of inspiration as well. So until next time, keep doodling, keep drawing, and just keep having fun with your paints and colours.